been 10 years, Marie. 10. I'm sick and tired of complaining to my friend about my alimony situation or lack thereof. He paid me, sort of, for the first 15 months, then, zip, well, a few drips and drabs every once in a while. I mean, I just keep calling my so-called mediator slash attorney Sandra. She's worthless. She blew me off. Henry's trying. What can I do? Oh, blah, blah, blah. I swear they're in cahoots. She's on his side. Guess what? He's back in New York. You know how I know? My landlord, who hates my guts, called to tell me Henry was looking for an apartment. Come on. Marie listens like she always does. I'm out of options. I give up. Well, why don't you go to the office of the self-representing? Wait, what? What? What is that? Free family court. Volunteer lawyers help people without attorneys, recover child support, or back alimony. She sprouts this off like all of a sudden she's a paralegal. Oh, I grasp at this option like I'm a rattler engulfing prey. That's why I force myself to bundle up and leave my overheated apartment and trudge my tired body filled with regret and dread through the frosty February air to the office of the self-represented. This is what must be done during the 10-minute walk from the Franklin Street subway stop to Center Street. You're an idiot. You gave this guy all your money, self-esteem, the best years of your life. Wow. Because I was brainwashed. I believed my mother and women are weak and ineffectual, second-class citizens. I didn't understand the value of the feminine. I emulated my father. I went out into the world to achieve and prove I'm not some woman. I'm as competent as any man. I used my will to mold my life into what I wanted it to be. I ignored all the signs to the contrary. I believed if I made money and pretended to be who other people wanted me to be, that would prove my worth. Instead, I'm depleted, alone, angry, and exhausted. I'm not a human being. I'm a human doing. I built my foundation on a false self, and my life crumbled and disappeared like the sands in an hourglass. Yeah, like that soap opera, Days of Our Lives. I believed money equaled love. The more money I made, the more Henry would love me. So I worked my ass off, paid all the bills. I opened an IRA. I became the man I wish I'd married. Some liberated woman I am. I let him manipulate me, walk all over me, then ghost me after I supported him through law school. Oh, no, 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 no. Time to stop being a doormat and rectify this alimony situation once and for all. Like Custer, this is my last stand. Yeah, I hope things work out better for me than they did for the general. What if it doesn't work out? I don't, one day at a time. Turning left onto Center Street, a blast of frigid air shows no mercy and smacks me back into reality. I hunch over and brace myself against the brutal wind. I cross the street. To my left, Dozens of reporters and camera crews line the entire length in front of the courthouse. Huh, what's going on? Martha Stewart. Of course, her insider trading trial is in progress. All this news coverage is for her. I pretend the cameras are for me. I'm starring in a movie about my life. The film plays in my mind like a movie trailer. An overachieving, people-pleasing, aspiring actress marries and realizing, uh-oh, she's made a horrible mistake. Flees to New York City in the hopes of playing Blanche Dubois on Broadway. Her controlling, narcissistic husband follows and convinces her to put him through law school, then deserts her, leaving her to fend for herself. Today, like Norma Ray, she's standing up for herself because no one else will. She holds her head high. Her face radiates determination and grit as the blistering wind bounces off her like the weather is a balmy 78. Should this be a movie of the week or a feature film directed by Nora Ephron, starring me, or better yet, Meryl Streep? Inside the courthouse, I'm comforted by the formidable sturdiness, ample marble, and heavy dark wood demanding justice. I wander the hallways and follow the signs until I locate the room. I pause to read the words painted on the glass of the door. The office of the self-represented. I take a breath before turning the doorknob and making my last move on the chessboard. The almost empty space is filled with a reverential hush, except for a sign in bold black letters demanding my attention. Attorneys do not represent clients in court. Attorneys do not give advice over the phone. Got it. The man behind the counter asked me to sign in and wait. I sit on the hard wooden church pew type bench. No one's in a hurry around here. I'm exhausted from my 45-minute trip. The heat envelops me like a welcome embrace. I want to curl up on the bench and sleep. I struggle to keep my eyes open. Oh, the man signals me back to the counter. I impart my tale of woe as he nods. Yeah, I'm sure he's worn down from years of listening to stories of desertion and heartbreak. He shows no emotion, hands me a form. Fill this out. Return it when you're done. I glance at the form, which is quite detailed and appears to be written in a foreign language. I need to concentrate. I tuck the document into my bag and step back outside into the blistering cold. Where I stride the 2 blocks in front of Martha's paparazzi, who are clueless they're filming my life. The paperwork is more complex than I anticipated. As I read the words on the page, my eyes keep closing like I've contracted sleeping sickness from a tsetse fly. My brain goes fuzzy. All right, wake up. Wake up. This happens whenever I stand up for myself. I've been so conditioned by society, my family, to believe I'm less than and undeserving. Didn't I hire an attorney or whatever she calls herself for this? Complaining, stop. Overstart, top of page. Script, reading, pretend. I follow the instructions. fill out the form to the best of my ability. I'm also required to submit my signed divorce decree. I stare at the fat manila folder stuffed with all the materials relating to the dissolution of my failed marriage, reminding me what a loser I am. My palms sweat. I wipe them on my flannel pajamas. As I open the folder, my shame flies out and surrounds me like the winged monkeys sent by the wicked witch. Inside reside all the correspondence from my so-called mediator, Sandra, the divorce decree, and Henry's 12 plus years of apologetic letters. I flip through the papers and organize them in chronological order. The last letter from Henry is dated over 5 years ago, and his hollow excuses and apologies stroke the heat in my body like fires burning at the gates of hell. I open the divorce decree, and when I flip to the back, the signature page is empty. Oh, come on. Henry must have the signed document. Of course he does. He's the man. I'm paying the bills, and he's granted all the privileges of his white maleness. Damn it. I returned to Center Street the following week to submit my completed form. The cameras are still lined up, waiting for my arrival. I stride past them with a half grin as I continue the imaginary filming of my life story. This time, a different attorney checks my paper and points out several mistakes. He explains what I need to write, gives me a new form to fill out. I ask him about my unsigned divorce decree. He sends me to another office to retrieve a signed copy. I locate the obscure office and stand in line, a line that doesn't move. Oh, why? What is taking so long? Why is everything so slow? You're as bad as the post office. I can't take it anymore. Let go. Let God. Oh, shut up. The first time I encountered the phrase, let go, let God, in a 12-step room, I was outraged. What? Let go, let God, let go of my control? If I'm not running my life, who is? Some magical being in the sky, my fairy godmother? No one takes care of me but me. I'm supposed to relinquish control to some woo-woo, supernatural, invisible force? I don't think so. Attending meetings week after week, I discovered I was spiritually bankrupt. And over time, I came to understand and appreciate the concept of letting go and letting God. When I'm quiet and meditate, I touch the place deep inside where knowing, love, and compassion reside. And I surrender to a force greater than myself. But once I leave my apartment and encounter all the incompetent, annoying people who live in the outside world, it's complicated. I reach the window. The woman informs me, due to the age of your document, it's now located in the archival office. She gives me the address of 31 Center Street. Yeah, most likely located somewhere in the depths of the Amazon rainforest. Of course, of course, my divorce decree isn't here. That would be way too easy. Why? Why Is this so hard? I take down the information on autopilot. Ugh. I can't deal with finding the new office today, so I sleepwalk home, lay down to meditate, and fall asleep. Another week passes, and a new sub-zero day dawns. I want to stay in bed. I pull the covers up over my face to hide. I can't. I can't go. No stopping. Too far you've come. This is humiliating. Kafkaesque. I'm surprised I didn't wake up as a cockroach. Mission complete or die. You are so melodramatic. Fine. I drag myself out from underneath the cozy plush warm down comforter and trudge through the wind and cold like a desperate refugee escaping some war-torn country. I bypass the cameras to my new destination, the archival office. My imaginary movie will have to wait. The guy working is right out of central casting. He's a dapper dresser in his brown wool slacks, gray sweater vest over a white button-down shirt with a bow tie, and a tweed jacket with patches on the elbows and silver wire-rimmed glasses. He moves with the speed and determination of a slug. Why is everyone so slow? You want to be this slow? Move to New Hampshire. I tamp my rage and hold myself back from jumping up and strangling him. I close my eyes, take a few deep breaths, hoping to receive an enlightened Jedi message from the great beyond. Detach, allow, trust, divine order is. Why? Why am I doing this? Responsibility. You're taking responsibility is freedom. I want to cry. I want this to be over. Trusting, keep, allow, surrender, next right action, take. Deep, dark woods you're in. Guided, you're being. After about 25 minutes, the slowest man in the 5 boroughs, wearing a bow tie, motions me over. I give him my information. He nods, writes something down, climbs on a stepladder to search through several brown, expanding legal file folders on high shelves. After about 15 minutes, he finds my decree and instructs me. Go to the room around the corner, make a copy, bring the original back. I do as I'm told and return the document to his safekeeping. Another week goes by before I lug myself out of bed and back to Center Street with my copy of the signed divorce decree. I pass by the shivering camera crews. Oh, they appear more frazzled than I am. They no longer command my interest. I'm on a mission to hold Henry accountable, stand up for myself, and claim the money owed to me. Today, in the office of the self-represented, the clerk takes my form and divorce decree. Oh, I hold my breath, hoping, praying, please, please let this be enough. Please, tell me I have all the elements needed to move forward. The clerk instructs me to go to another department in the building to have the documents notarized and bring everything back to him. I locate the room in the basement and wait in yet another line. Breathe deeply. This too shall pass. This too shall pass. Once my papers are notarized, I return all the materials to the office of the self-represented. Again, I hold my breath. The law clerk checks my documents like he's taking the bar exam. Everything's in order. What? Really? So now what? You serve him. Um, okay. He doesn't blink, show emotion, or give further instructions. Uh, you serve him. Okay, serve him. How? You contact a process service. They'll serve him. Oh, thanks for being here, you guys. I really, really appreciate you so much for watching. And I want to thank Kevin K for buying me 3 coffees. And to all my monthly subscribers and everyone who watches the channel, who likes, subscribes, hits the notification button, or shares my videos. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I so appreciate it. Don't forget to leave your comments. Very important. Okay. All right. Questions for you. Have you ever had to represent yourself in court? Oh, God. What was that like? 2, what's the most ridiculous bureaucracy you've ever battled? All right. Your questions for me. Jeffrey D44. He asks, when you walk the streets of New York City now and see people doing the wild things needed to make money, does it give you constant flashbacks of your side hustles like this one? Oh, he's talking about when I led the Wisconsin tourist up 8th Avenue in a hoop skirt to the King and I. Do you smile, cringe, and tense up, or a mixture of everything? He says, I live about 25 minutes from where I grew up now, although I've lived all over the country. I don't go there often, but when I do, I'm flooded with memories. I think when I see all these different people, and I assume most of them are actors, and they're playing these characters, and they're in the cold or the sweltering heat, oh, I really just am filled with gratitude that I don't have to do that anymore. And I feel for them. I feel their pain. One of the jobs that I almost did was at the tickets booth on 44th Street, I think it is. They have actors passing out flyers to different shows in the hopes of getting the people in line to buy tickets to their show. And it paid really well. At that time, I think they paid $25 an hour, which at that time was big bucks. But the guy would not hire me. And I said, why? And he said, look, I don't see you standing out on the streets of New York City passing out flyers. And I said, well, I've done much worse. And he goes, no, I'm sure that was a blessing in disguise also. All right, Suzanne B7E. She was asking about California / LA. She asked, was it seedy in general in terms of the industry? Was it the people on the projects encountered there? What was it that turned you off? She's talking about when I met with my manager who wanted me to stay in LA so that he could represent me. I didn't. I came back to New York because I had bad feelings about the whole situation, not him. I had no problem with him. I thought he was a stand-up guy. although later he was arrested for a Ponzi scheme. I think that's what they call it. You know, I think I stayed there about a month or so, but I didn't look for work in SAG at that time. What I was doing is I was going to audition for theater jobs, but I wasn't living in California, so there was no way I was going to book a theater job. But it was just so weird to me. You drive and drive and drive to get anywhere, and I don't know. I just was like, New York is so compact, and once you figure it out, it's so easy. I mean, it's a pain and it can be difficult, but it's so I don't know if that answers the question, but okay. All right. Time Runner 9164. She said to me, I believe the title of your video is what brings in new viewers. So say if you titled it something like The Time I Met Jack Black or The Time I Met Oliver Platt, you just have to think of keywords to put in your video title. She says, this is how I think you draw in more subscribers, because if you hadn't titled your video about Christopher Reeves, I would never have found you. So it's all about putting popular words in the title. I hope this helps. She also says making shorts is another great idea. One person I watch on YouTube pulls a short out of every video she makes. You could even go back and pull shorts out of videos you did a long time ago. And I am going to do that. I want to do that. Just one short out of each video. You know, I just found Kathy Griffin's YouTube channel, and that's what she does. She says, meeting Mr. T or Jerry Seinfeld. She just name drops, name drops, name drops. And she has so many names to drop. All right. Thank you guys so much for all your suggestions. I really appreciate it. All right. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave your comments, leave your questions. New York is under a heat advisory again for the next couple of days. We had flash floods on Monday in the subway and also above ground. They said that Central Park got 6 inches in 1 hour. Cray. All right, you guys, stay cool, stay out of the flash floods, and I will see you next Sunday, okay? I love you guys. Take care.